We're nearing the end of the 2024 NFL season. We are entering week 14. Let's do my week 14 picks, but first, let's do a quick recap of week 13. Week 13, I went 12 and 4 for a total of 127 and 68 entering week 14 for my picks. Thursday night football, well, not Thursday night, the Thanksgiving games. I chose the Lions to beat the Bears. They won. The Bears had a weird situation where they didn't snap the ball in the final seconds of the game, hoping to tie. I don't know what happened. Mismanagement. I think they fired their head coach after that. Then I chose the Cowboys to beat the Giants. What I thought was going to be the worst game of the week wasn't the worst game of the week. It was just, Cooper Rush versus whoever the hell, Tommy DeVito, whatever. Cowboys won. I chose the Dolphins to beat the Packers. It was cold as hell. They didn't do so hot. Packers won convincingly 30-17. I chose the Raiders to beat the Chiefs, and it was the same situation with the Bears game. We could have won, but something happened at the end. Our center snapped the ball on, when he wasn't supposed to. We turned the ball over. It was all bad. We had the Chiefs on their ropes. We could have beat the Chiefs, and it would have been really funny, but alas, we didn't. I chose the Chargers to beat the Falcons, and both teams didn't want to win. It was just who could lose this game more. Kirk Cousins threw like 4 interceptions. Chargers, whatever. I chose the Colts to beat the Patriots, and they won at the last second. Anthony Richardson's awesome. We love him now. He's always had talent. They scored a touchdown on their final drive of the game. Yeah. Then I chose the Seahawks to beat the Jets. They did so. The Jets were up 17-3 or something. They were up by 2 scores plus or something. They blew the lead. It was really funny. Then I chose the Commanders to beat the Titans, and they did, convincingly, 42-19. I chose the Texans to beat the Jaguars. They did. T-Law came back, but he got injured off of a pretty controversial hit. And, whatever side you're on, it sucks that T-Law got hurt, so whatever. It's a shitty situation, but the Texans won. Then I chose the Steelers to beat the Bengals in what was an offensive shootout that the Steelers won. Then I chose the Vikings to beat the Cardinals. The Vikings won. Then I chose the Saints to beat the Rams. The Saints lost. They were up 14-0, I believe. And the Rams just scored all their touchdowns in the second half. And yeah, the Saints drove the ball down the field hoping to tie. But 4th and goal, Derek Carr got hit, and the ball came loose. Turnover on downs. It sucks. Derek Carr has never beaten the Rams. That sucks. Then I chose the Buccaneers to beat the Panthers. They won. They almost lost it. It was overtime. Chuba Hubbard fumbled the ball after the Bucks couldn't. After the Bucks, I think they punted it away, but it sucks. Then, or did the Bucks miss the field goal? I don't remember. Then I chose the Ravens to beat the Eagles. Justin Tucker missed more field goals, and the Eagles' defense was just too much for them. So yeah, Ravens lost. Then I chose the Bills to beat the Niners. They did so pretty convincingly, 35-10. I chose the Broncos to beat the Browns, and Jameis Winston. I was yelling at the screen, "Stunt on these hoes, Jameis! I believe in you." Then he threw 2 picks to end the game, a pick 6 and then a pick at the end zone to really lose the game. They could have came back, so that sucks. Now here are my Week 14 picks. We start off with Thursday Night Football. It already passed. I chose the Lions to beat the Packers. It was a pretty rough, tough, fun game to watch, so the Lions won. I don't know what else I can say about it. Since it already passed, I was just gonna say that I like the Lions better. They're gonna win. They only have one loss in the season. Great for the Lions. Good for them. Um, and the Lions clinched a playoff spot. They don't have division yet because the Vikings are still around. Okay, now we move on to the Sunday games. The Jaguars taking on the Titans. I'm going with the Titans on this because the Jaguars are sad. They only lost by a field goal to the Texans, but the Titans are just a better team, I believe. I like Mac Jones. I've always liked Mac Jones, but they're just a mess. They're a mess. I'm going with the Titans on this. They look a little better, and Mayo Boy looks better as the weeks go on. He's not great. He's not amazing, but he looks better. Then we got the Jets taking on the Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins because the Dolphins beat up bad teams. The Jets are a bad team. Nothing's going right for them. They suck. Everyone's loving it because everyone was like, "Oh my God, the Jets are gonna go to the Super Bowl this year." Shit's not happening. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. The Dolphins aren't out of the playoffs just yet. Hopefully, this win can get them back to close to 500. We'll see. But the Dolphins, they do beat up on bad teams. Then we got the Falcons taking on the Vikings. This is Vikings. That Brian Flores defense. Sam Darnold looks great. I don't know what else to say. The Falcons are a mess right now. No one expected them to be as good as they were about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And then they just shit the bed. I don't think they've won a game in a while. They're 6-6. People said they were going to take division, but it looks like the Bucks going to bounce back and take division. I want the Saints to, but what are you going to do? Kirk Cousins is going back to that Vikings form, and this is Kirk Cousins on the Falcons versus his former team, the Vikings. So this is going to be a pretty fun match, but I'm giving it to the Vikings. They're going to swarm Kirk Cousins, and yeah, that's it. Then we got the Giants taking on the Saints. This is pretty easy. I'm going with the Saints. The Saints aren't unwatchable. The Giants are. The Giants are terrible. They're a mess. They're a lost cause. So I'm going with the Saints on this. Not a whole lot to say. I'm a Derek Carr fanboy, but there's not much to say. They're going to torch them. Then we got the Panthers taking on the Eagles. This seems like a game the Eagles could lose. The last stretch of the games, they just fuck it all up. They don't have a playoff spot yet, I believe, which is strange because, you're a 10-win team at this point. But aside from that, I'm going with the Eagles. They're obviously the better team. They have the better defense, one of the best defenses in the league. Jalen Hurts is looking really good, and Saquon Barkley should get MVP, I believe. He's changing them for the better. Saquon is amazing. But hopefully the Panthers can put up a good fight. Bryce Young is looking a lot better. And aside from the fumble from Chuba Hubbard, he's still looking good. I like Chuba Hubbard a lot. But Eagles. Then we got the Browns taking on the Steelers. It's going to be the Steelers. It's going to be a fun AFC North match. But I'm going with the Steelers just because they're the better team. What are you going to do? The better offense. Jameis is great, but he just makes mistakes all the time. And you hate seeing that from him because we all love Jameis. Everyone loves Jameis Winston. But he's not in the same class as Russell Wilson. And this Steelers defense and the Steelers team in general is very scary. So I'm going with the Steelers on this. It's going to be close though, like how it was a few weeks ago. Just because the Steelers can't lose the Browns twice in a season. When was the last time that happened? I don't remember. I'm not going to look it up because I don't care. But the Steelers had a strong offensive game against the Bengals. It's not going to snow this time in the second half. Steelers, I'm sorry. Don't have a whole lot to say. Then we got the Raiders taking on the Bucks. This is going to be pretty easy. The Raiders suck. My team sucks. I hate it. But we weren't unwatchable last week. We had the Chiefs on the ropes. Aiden O'Connell looked like how he did last year. He looked really damn good. And that connection with him and Brock Bowers is awesome. Brock Bowers He looks incredible. He doesn't have a whole lot of games of production to put him up like a front runner for like offensive rookie of the year or something. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it will happen. But the moments where he shines, he really shines. Brock Bowers is awesome. Great pickup in the draft. We haven't had a good draft pick like that in a long time. But on the other hand, the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, of course, he looks incredible. Mike Evans, he's going to try to get that 1,000-yard season. It'll be really funny if he does because he missed 3 games. So it'll be like, fuck all of you guys for not getting a 1,000-yard season. I missed 3 games. Yeah, what I'm going to say, the Bucks are the better team, obviously, all around. Defense, offense, quarterback. Baker Mayfield's great. And he's most likely going to take division. We'll see. We'll see how this works out because both the Falcons and the Bucks are 6-6. Then we got the Seahawks taking on the Cardinals. Going with the Seahawks on this. The Cardinals, I don't know what's up with them. I think they're a good team, but they're just really hard to gauge. They're up, they're down. They have good games. They have a loss. What are they? 6-6. Seahawks lead division at 7-5, which is crazy because the NFC West has been a bloodbath. I think it's close in division, but the Niners are down bad. The Rams are still competitive, so they're still in the wild card hunt. But the Seahawks have division, and I think they're going to win this game and hopefully get one step closer to taking division. Geno's going to bounce back. He's going to have some good throws. This is going to be a pretty close game, I believe. It's going to be a fun offensive shootout, but I'm going with the Seahawks on this in a pretty close win. Then we got the Bills taking on the Rams, going with the Bills, the much more well-rounded team. They look like one of the best teams in the league. The Rams, on the other hand, are just a cutthroat, competitive, will never back down team. Matthew Stafford, he's great. What can you do? But the Bills are the better team. They need this win. They need this win to get one step closer to the first seed. Then we got the Bears taking on the Niners. I'm going with the Niners on this. Even though they're banged up pretty bad and CMC is put on the IR again. That sucks, but Brock Purdy. He's obviously the better quarterback than Caleb Williams. He can extend plays. And Caleb has looked great, even though they have a losing record 4-8, even though they haven't won a game in a while. He looks great, but going with the Niners on this. I know they're banged up, but I just think the Bears won't have a chance. Then we got the Chargers going up against the Chiefs. I'm going with the Chargers on this. Here's a little fun fact on the Chiefs. The Chiefs have not scored more than 20 points in any game against their AFC West opponents. The Broncos, Chargers, and both times they played the Raiders of all teams, they were held to 20 points or less. The Chargers, on the other hand, have a pretty solid defense. And it's that John Harbaugh system. Bang you down on the defense, run the ball a lot, and Justin Herbert doesn't have to do a whole lot to win the game. I don't know what else I can really say about it. I just wish Justin Herbert could sling the ball like he used to. I mean, he could still, but I don't like this. I don't like the system for Justin Herbert. They have a winning record. I don't like it. But the Chargers were close to beating the Chiefs last time they played. It was within a score. All Chiefs games have been within a score this season. They're not unbeatable. It was 17-10. And in that game, Mahomes had a pick, an interception. I don't know what to say, man. It's going to be another voodoo bullshit magic bullshit thing where the Chiefs are going to somehow win in the end. But I'm going with the Chargers on this because I think it'll be really funny. That's Sunday Night Football, so that might be fun to watch. Then we got the Bengals taking on the Cowboys. I'm going with the Bengals because they have the better offense, of course. Joe Burrow is the only reason why they have wins this season. It's not like their defense is doing anything good. On the other hand, the Cowboys are just a mess. They have one more win than the Bengals, but when two of those wins come against the Giants, I don't think they really count as wins. So yeah, I'm going with the Bengals on this. They have obviously the obvious better offense. They have the better team. Their defense is just really really bad, but I don't think a Cooper Rush led offense is gonna outpace Joe Burrow. So that's Monday Night Football going with the Bengals, and that's pretty much it. Sorry I kept this one short. I just didn't have a whole lot to say. I didn't keep up with any NFL news throughout the week. They're just really simple, basic picks. So tell me what you thought about these picks. What are your picks? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. Tell me about your picks, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So yeah, bye.